G'day Bomber fans, make that 3 from 3. The Bombers have prevailed in Dreamtime at Darwin. We have kept our season humming along nicely. There was a bit of a scare, it wasn't convincing, but the girls grinded it out and won the third game in as many games this season, something the boys weren't able to do, get 3 on the trot I don't think. So we sit well and truly inside the top 4 now. Players are set to return soon, which is always good. We love players returning. Let's chat about this game. It was a good win. We love a good Friday night marquee game win. Leave your votes in the comments below. Quarter by quarter recap. The Tigers had the early play. They had the first 4 or 5 inside 50s. They really came to play despite being the underdogs. We would kick the first goal through Maggie McLaughlin, but Paige Scott against their old club would score against us and let us all know. That was fun. Georgia Clark kicked a beauty to end the quarter and give us some momentum. We led by 8 points at quarter time. The second, we got control a bit more. Sophie Alexander kicked an early goal out of the goal square again. Not the first time she's done that this year. Got us out to a nice lead, and the rest of the quarter was really gritty. There was lots of tight calls, a few more Paige Scott moments for the Tigers, some big tackles for the Dons. We went into halftime with a pretty comfortable lead. The Tigers would come back. Katie Brennan dribbled one home to reduce the lead, giving the Tigers more of the play. We got another back through Georgia G, but the Tigers would go coast to coast to kick the last goal of the term in the last 20 seconds, I think, reducing the lead and making the Bomber fans a bit more stressed going into the last term. It was really gritty early in the fourth. The Tigers were missing a few chances to make things nervy, but it wouldn't last long. Sophie Alexander would take a mark and convert her second. Georgia G also popped up for her second of the game. In the end, it was a tight game. We were just a little bit better in it. We drifted out to a 15-point win, securing our third win of the season already. Top spot at the time of filming. Stop the count. We've put a big dent in Richmond's finals hopes in the process. Alright, so yeah, this was a win. That's good. Look, I think to start the year, we've probably been a little bit lucky with our fixturing. I'd say that GWS, West Coast and Richmond are probably going to be down in that bottom half of the ladder. A few of them pretty deep down, I'd be guessing. And that's not me criticising the Bombers for doing it easy. Like, you can only beat who's in front of you. But to get a good year going your way, you need some luck. And the Bombers, I guess, with this fixturing have had some good luck. But also, we've had our fair share of bad luck. Like, we've still got some injuries. This, by the way, in the review last week, I missed it. But Bonnie Toogood was really harshly suspended for 2 weeks for a tackle. So she's out of this game and next. So we're missing some important players to the team, but we're finding ways to get wins on the board in the process, and that's the main thing, getting wins when you have players missing. We've shown we can win it easy and fun against the Giants. That was a really good win, and these last 2 games against West Coast and Richmond, we've struggled a bit more. It's been a bit tougher, but I think there were reasons for us not looking at our best and sharpest last night. First of all, the conditions are just not ideal for footy. I think it was close to 30 and extremely greasy, so it was close to wet weather footy because everyone was drenched in sweat. You could see it on screen. And maybe that's just me not liking humidity and that kind of weather, but I think you've got to cut a bit of slack in games like this if the ball use isn't 100%. I didn't think it was that bad anyway. I was expecting a really messy game, but it was pretty fun, and the ball pinged around a little bit. You could tell neither team was at their most comfortable, and I think when you got a side winning games when they're not comfortable, that's good, because, we've done that 2 weeks in a row now. I'd be worried if that was all we were doing, grinding out wins, but after round 1, it shows we've got levels we can go to help us get different kinds of wins, and that's going to be important as the year goes along. So the Tigers were actually doing a decent job at holding their own in the contest, which is our strength, because we've got a really strong midfield. The ruck situation is helping, so it's not helping us. The last few weeks, we've really struggled in that position. Steph Wales is back in a few games from that ACL, but in the meantime, it looks like we're just going to lose some ruck contests. It was 23 hitouts to 6 in Richmond's favour. Our midfield still got the upper hand at the contest, and it was a big reason for some of our goals. We were doing really well to get the ball in good positions from our stoppage exits, and that's probably the difference between the two teams, because not the midfield itself, but what we were doing with our footy going forward. We had 29 inside 50s, the Tigers had 40. It didn't feel like that. You did feel the Tigers get some momentum and some repeat entries, but it was never dangerous. Like, a lot of their entries were pretty much just turnovers and nothing kicks going forward, whereas we had some heat and danger attached to ours a little bit. We had 6 goals from 29 entries, they had 3 from 40. Also, efficiency in inside 50. Ours was 58, theirs was 32, and that's not an outlier. That is pretty much bang on both teams' averages this year. So we are just a better team inside 50. So even with, less chances in our forward 50, we made ours stick. Both teams had the same amount of scoring shots. We just made ours goals, and they didn't. They finished with 3 goals, 10, which is not good. If they were just a bit more clinical, who knows? Maybe they could have caused a boil over. But no, overall, I'd say it's a good win. We definitely should have won. So, it's an expected win. We are the more advanced team. But, you take out all the experience we've lost and replace it with debutants. So you had, Brooke Brown, Steph Wales is a bit younger, but Maddie Gay out of the team and replace them with Bellany, Riderwood and Chambers last week making their debut. This week you take out Van der Heuvel and Bonnie Toogood and replace them with Verbruge and Gladman. So we're a very young team out there. Like, not only for us to be getting these wins is good, but advancing some of the players like we did in the AFL this year, we're showing really good signs of development. Because I thought Grace Bellany was awesome. Riderwood again was really productive. I liked Verbruge in her first game as well. I liked all the debutants really. And then you've got players like Amy Gaylor who they've cemented themselves in the starting lineup for years to come. She is going to be so important going forward. So yeah, I think there's some good things building at Essendon. We're 3-0, so you can't be unhappy with that. We are undefeated. We're top 4 for another week. We've got some tougher games coming up around the corner, ones that might be a bit harder to win. So I guess some good footy will have to be played for those. But with Toogood coming back in round 5, with Wales on the mend, with Brooke Brown back before the season ends, we've got some good players coming back for us eventually. So if you can just continue to grind out these wins, get them on the board, maybe bring up an upset in the next few weeks, we could be in that top 8 with a few rounds to go. And that's where I think we should be after this start. We started this year really, really well. You can't really complain at all. So yeah, good stuff. Just need to keep it going. Let's get onto the votes. Alrighty, the tally after rounds 1 and 2. You've got Maddie Prasparkas and Georgia Nanscorn tied on 6. You've got Amy Gaylor and Bonnie Toogood on 5 right behind them. And then you've got the logjam. You've got Sophie Alexander, who's got 2 for that game-winning goal last week. Daria Bannister, Riderwood, Morecambe and Murphy all have 1 to their name. Keep up the votes. Votes from this week, we got a bit of a Georgia theme, 1 to Georgia G. This is kind of like an early season vote, to be honest, because I could have given 1 to a few different players, but G has really deserved some love after her start this year. She's been great and continued her good form with 2 goals and 15 touches. 2 votes to Georgia Clark. She was an important addition of height last night, managed a really nice ground level goal. That was a lovely finish and won herself plenty of the footy. She's proven to be a really important and versatile player for us. 3 votes again to Georgia Nanscorn. She is off to an incredible start this year. I showed you the tally before. She's level, or now she's going to be clear because she's got an extra 3 here. She is starting to get a move on, but yeah, those conditions were perfect for her. 27 touches, 12 tackles, awesome stuff. My role player, I've gone with Grace Bellany. Another really promising game from her. I think she plays out the year now in the main team. She looks so ready for this level after making her debut just a few weeks ago. She's been super impressive. But yeah, those are the votes. Alrighty, next week's game, we've got a bit of a break until next week. We go back to Melbourne, back home to Windy Hill. We're hosting Geelong on Sunday at our home ground. So feel the hill, get out to the game. And this is a big one. This is a massive game of footy for both these clubs. So the Cats they were expected to be up in the top 8, pushing for finals with the Bombers. They haven't gotten off to the best start. They've lost their first 2 games of the year. I'm recording this before they play Sydney today. So if they lose that and go 0-3, it makes next Sunday a do or die game. Whereas for the Bombers, if we go 4-0 before some games against the top teams, it puts us in an incredible position. The Cats can't be underestimated. They've lost their first 2 games, but their opponents were North, the reigning premiers, and Adelaide, who are always insane at this level. I think the Sydney game this Arvo will tell us a lot about the Cats and whether they should be truly feared for next Sunday or not. But yeah, it's a really important game for both these clubs. These 50-50 ones are crucial. If we drop games that we could be winning, it really impacts our ladder position because realistically, we're not one of the best teams. I don't see us challenging, North for a flag. I think we're still a year or 2 away from being at that level. But while we're building for that, we can continue to play finals footy and get that experience and maybe get some finals wins. And the way to do that is booking in that Windy Hill home game in finals, and the way to do that is by getting wins on the board. So this is a game the girls should really be getting up for a win for. A win on Sunday and finals has to be the requirement. If you go 4-0 in a 12-game season, you're set. So yeah, let's get it done. But that is that. Cheers for watching. Plenty more AFLW content coming your way. Some draft and trade news as well. That is all. Like, subscribe, and go Bombers.